Welcome to a special edition of How to Thrive in IT. This is a coaching in the car episode, doing things dangerously. Don't do this at all. Don't do this. I say I'm well practiced, but I'm just as much at risk as anyone. So this is not something to be doing if you're seeing the video of this. But if you're listening to the audio, what do you care?
Technology, just something you roped in. We've got words for you, give you a whole new attitude. Wisdom from the trenches, seeing past your fences. This is how to thrive in IT.
All right. So today, I'm starting off with laughter because the subject is going to be interesting to get through, and I'm going to do my best. It's been a very emotionally challenging week for me, and I wanted to record down some content because as I've been doing some other responses to other people's questions and that sort of thing, and so I wanted to do this one in more of a dual video and audio format. Mostly because it's light out, sort of light out, and also because I wanted you to be able to get some context for my face and whatnot. Sorry if this isn't choppy, but it is what it is. I'm in a car, for crying out loud. The question is, what do I do when it feels like all of my contributions are being ignored? I got to be honest with you. When someone sent that in, well, first of all, it was sent anonymously, which is good because I have feelings I know a few people that it might have come from. But it's a question I've been asking myself, especially this week, where it does feel like I've been ignored and it does feel like I've been rejected, that my contributions have not counted for anything, that they have been, well, I guess that they have been invalidated is what it feels like. Like, why did I bother? That sort of thing. And honestly, I think I will just tell you what I came to the conclusion of after many angry sessions myself. And that is that rejection. It feels personal because on some level, it kind of sometimes is. In my particular case of a second time being rejected for the Citrix Technology Professionals Program, I was immediately struck with, well, why did I bother? I kind of knew going into this that I was contributing in areas that nobody cared about seeing. So why would I put myself forward for a vendor-related program that they weren't seeing the value of my content to begin with? So whatever. It's kind of one of those things. But what struck me about it was like, well, wait a minute. Does that mean it's not valuable? Does that mean I'm not valuable? A bunch of people had to see this, and a bunch of people who know me had to see this. Does that mean that they have personally rejected me? And the honest truth is, I don't know. I can tell you it kind of feels that way when all you're getting is a ambiguous, like HR style message of, we have decided to go another way. Thank you for your application or whatever, non-reasons, no feedback, no criteria listed, that sort of thing. But I think in our industry, it's not just that. There's a lot of other content that goes unnoticed and things like that. At least sometimes it feels that way, and sometimes it literally just is. And so I want to break down some of that right after we come back here.
Resource of the week. Oh yeah, resource of the week. What will it be this week? Get ready to take a peek.
Hello again, my friend. This week's resource of the week is my risks and recommendations spreadsheet. Now, we all know that presenting assessment findings to management can be challenging. Many IT professionals struggle with coming across as condescending, arrogant, or even ignorant. But it doesn't have to be this way. With the Riskless Methodology spreadsheet, you can organize your recommendations in a way that highlights your authority and intellect. This powerful tool ensures built-in accountability and prioritization of action steps, making your presentations clear, concise, and impactful. With this spreadsheet, you will showcase your expertise, impress management with well-organized professional recommendations, have built-in accountability, because you'll keep track of action steps and ensure follow-through. And you'll prioritize with ease. You'll focus on what matters most and drive meaningful change. So don't miss out on this game-changing tool. Head to thrive.com/risksheet to download your free copy today and start transforming your assessment presentations now. Elevate your presentations, impress your management, and become the go-to expert in your field with the riskless methodology risks and recommendations spreadsheet. Download it now and take the first step towards professional excellence. All right, let's get back to the show. So there's some realities that I have been facing, I guess you could say. It really comes down to, I'll just say it, that marketing sucks. Mostly that it sucks for people that are in information technology. And a lot of contributions go unnoticed because of two major reasons. And one is what essentially comes down to marketing. And that is that it's a very noisy online world out there. So getting noticed on your own is very difficult to begin with. And if you're doing your own blog and things like that, it's really tough. Trust me. It's not impossible, and it is very much worth it, but it is an uphill battle. And you need to be prepared for that. And you need to be prepared for looking at that view count and realizing that nobody's reading, because it's easy to miss the perception here. The reality is that we think that, we'll just put something out there and naturally people just start reading it, pick it up. We don't stop to think that we don't function like that. I'll give you an example. When do you Google something just for the fun of it in the tech world? Right? Pretty rare. When do you just open up somebody's blog just to open it? Never, right? You never do that. It's just not a thing. So for us to think that we'll just have content that just suddenly just gets read is kind of silly, if we're being honest with ourselves. But that's a tendency we tend to do because we're really excited about it. So if we're really excited about it, why wouldn't other people be naturally excited about it? Problem is they will just not see it because that's just not the world we're living in anymore. I remember a time when people would purposely open up people's blogs, or I remember when RSS was a thing, when they would just naturally open up a web page in the morning and go through all the news. And it was a great time, but those days are over. Even now, with things like social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, whatever, getting noticed is really tough. You have to have a good established following. You have to have a lot of things that are consistent, I guess. I don't know. I've yet to fully figure it out. People are impressed by my impression numbers on LinkedIn, even though I don't have a lot of followers, for example. That's great, but ultimately it's still a challenge, even for me that has been working at it for a while now. So do not feel bad about that part of it. But I think I want to address more of the mindset side of this than just the logistics of literally just not being noticed. In other words, your contributions are going unnoticed because they are going unnoticed. There is the side of things where your contributions are, not noticed because they didn't fit in the right time frame. Okay, I want to be clear about this. It is not that your contributions are bad. And when I say contributions in this particular case, I'm talking about like written things, those kind of contributions, blog posts, whatever that looks like. It is just, like I said, the world we're kind of living in right now that is very difficult to get noticed. But it's also one of those things where sometimes you just have a difficulty in the right time with certain things. If they're not answering a problem that people have, sometimes it's hard to get noticed. But what that means is that some of the best content out there is you solving a problem, because that's something other people usually have. And believe me when I tell you, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me. The content that got me noticed also got me fired, but it was all because of a solution that I came up with to a pretty common problem. And what that means is that, basically that it is not just the problem you're solving too. It's searchable, it's desired, that sort of thing. And those are the kind of contents that are really good. So the other part about contributions that seem like they're not being noticed is a problem that I have all the time of writing things or creating things that I'm excited about, but aren't solving a problem that people necessarily have. And this is where, I'll be completely blunt, this is where my blog fell apart. And this is where I stopped trying, because I had an incident where there was a problem that I solved for a customer, and I had asked them if I could post the solution on a blog site, and they said yes. Well, at least someone there said yes. It turns out that they were not authorized to say yes, and I was later fired for that blog content. So be careful about what people can identify from your stuff. And I've seen a lot of blog posts out there and contribution things like that, that I'm like, whoa, hey, you got customer identifiable information in here. You want to be cautious and get that out of there, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's from personal experience and personal trauma of that. But the thing that did teach me, though, is that when people are trying to solve a problem that you've already solved, that is a heavily searchable thing. So when it comes to your contributions, I think you need a blend of things that you're passionate about, but also things that are solving problems that other people have. And so if you want your content to be noticed, that is a big, big piece of that. And honestly, and like I said, I've realized with me that a lot of the content that I have is not stuff people are searching for. I don't know if, you never know, somebody might find this video, this podcast episode, this page because of something they search for. It's always a possibility, but I am not banking on that. I will be doing more with social media to do this and to give people the pat on the back with this content, that sort of thing. But there's one final category, and I think it is, if I'm guessing, the actual intentions of the person that wrote the question to me originally, and not my personal take on it with what's been going on in my life. The other element of this is what happens when your contributions at a company go unnoticed. And I absolutely feel this one because honestly, one, I'm not a person that likes to try and grab the spotlight or anything like that. I know it's weird. Apparently I have a reputation for being that. I don't know. Whatever. I can't control people's perception, really. I can only just be me. I don't naturally tell people about wins that I've had. I don't express things that I've done. And I think a lot of us are like that, where we don't naturally do that. I think it is one of those challenges where somebody has noticed, somebody has acknowledged you probably even, but sometimes they aren't the right people. Sometimes they are not. There was another thing I did about this, about getting noticed by the right people and getting in front of the people that can do that and advocating for you. There's more in terms of how to get a better job, but this counts, right? This is like how to get your contributions seen by the right people to either be acknowledged publicly or given credit, or hopefully to have some sort of other benefit from that, monetary or otherwise, is important. So getting seen by the right people is very important for that. Okay. So that's a factor, but I continue to beat around the proverbial bush as far as what's really at the heart here. And that is what's at the heart here. And that is the question, does anybody actually care? And that's a hard one. I like it when people put themselves into their content at that level where they have to ask the question, does anybody care? Because it means they care that much about their content. I can't really say anything bad about that in that regards. But what I will say is that that's not a good pairing, especially in the technology world, because as I've discovered, the technology world is not really a caring world. Let's say it like it is. Now, a few of you are an exception to this, and you care deeply and even work for companies that care deeply. I could throw out names here. The one on my mind right now is Jet Ayers at ControlUp. What a great guy, great friend. I can't imagine life without him. It's great. He's a great guy. Mark Templeton is another one that I've come to know over the years that is just very generous with his time, more than I would be in his position, things like that. But by and large, I think that a lot of people that are, especially influencers, quote unquote, and people that are CEOs and high level, they may care. They just don't care about you. Let's just say it like it is. But that doesn't mean that people don't care. That doesn't mean like you and I don't care. Doesn't mean that I don't care about you. What tends to happen, and this applies to pretty much all of the situations that I've been saying here, is that we get busy. And especially in the IT world, this is actually where I find it to be the worst. And I come from multiple different worlds, right? I come from a background in psychology, which is that world. I come from 25 years working in information technology, which is that world, in the end user computing world, and like Citrix and whatnot, in that world. And then I also run my own business. And so I have these entrepreneurial circles that I run in. And so I have that world as well. The reality is that there's a lot of crossover and in between and every which direction when it comes to that. The thing that's true in all these circles that I find myself is that people are usually too busy to see what I put up. This is why I've been putting off for a long time a lot of this content that I've been creating from this perspective. But I've come to realize that there's certain venues that are probably better fits for this because of this reason. That's why podcasts, YouTube are a better fit in a lot of ways because they're easier to consume and they have a longer tail, I guess you could say. That rarely works for a lot of content, right? So let's be honest, I'm in my own world with that. But even that, it feels discouraging at times because people don't have time to watch a long video or listen to a long podcast episode, it feels like. And it's because we're busy. And it's nothing personal. It's just that we're busy. I'm going to suggest to you in terms of what to do when you're faced with this challenge of wondering, okay, well, do people care about my contributions? Is to find an advocate, find somebody who can tell your story for you. If you're not in a position to be able to tell it, that's one thing. But even if you are, it's so much more powerful if someone else can tell your story for you. If someone else can say what you've been doing, it's a much more potent combination as far as that goes. Yeah, so finding that. Now, that's not going to be easy. And as I said in the other episode, my opinion about that is the best way to do that is to do it for others first. And so it's like the golden rule, like treat people how you would want to be treated, right? So to do that in your work life, in your content life, that sort of thing. I'll give you an example. It's very much felt to me the last few years like a why bother kind of a thing. I know that I need lots of reviews of my books to know if, one, I'm even doing the right thing or if I'm doing it right, because I don't get the feedback immediately. So I need those reviews, good or bad, it doesn't matter. In fact, I've actually been hoping for some bad reviews lately because I'll get bad stars, but they don't have any feedback attached to them. It's just like when somebody gives my book a 1-star rating, it's just like, thanks for not helping at all. You just gave me the middle finger, basically. That's all you did. So thank you, but no thank you. So there's that. But also, just ratings in general are necessary to get people's attention about it. So in other words, what I need is advocates to tell others why my contribution matters, what mattered about it to them, that sort of thing. And I'd be stupid if at this point I didn't tell you that there'll be a link down below or in whatever medium you're consuming this content to do just that, to help me out with that. If you've read my book, it doesn't matter if you bought it on Amazon, for example. Go to Amazon, leave a review. Go to Goodreads, leave a review. If you've read it, let people know what you liked and didn't like about it. It helps me and it helps them too. So be an advocate for others. Tell their story. If there's something that you've seen them achieve, send an email to their department. Send an email to their manager and say, hey, you know what? I noticed this going on. I just wanted to applaud them and let you know that they did something great. It's easy enough to do. And like I said, if you do it enough, that will be done for you as well. You have to have faith in that. So I hope this helps you. Stay blessed by the best and be a blessing to others. See you next time.
Thanks for being here. It's time for your Just Do This episode summary. Wasn't that great? Consider me just another person being an advocate and saying what a good job it was, just like he said to do. Okay, you got me. This is an AI voice that doesn't do sarcasm. Joking aside, the summary here is that you are valued and appreciated even when it feels like you aren't being seen. It is a noisy world out there, and what we surely need to mention, the best way to get advocates is to be an advocate first. Hold up others. They will in turn hold you up as well. Finally, be honest with yourself. If being seen is important to you, you may have to adjust your expectations and change how you are displaying your contributions. The world is changing, and you have to change with it if this is important to you. And that's your Just Do This summary. You can get a free copy of the entire first part of Just Do This at thrive-it.com/JDTPC1. Now, as DJ mentioned in the car, see the links at the bottom of the episode to help him out by leaving a review. And speaking of reviews, your review on this podcast is also helpful. I realize this is a different format than usual, but it is appreciated nonetheless. Enjoy this little song we wrote for you to give you the space to do just that. And again, thank you.
Invisible hands behind the screen. Nobody knows where I've been. Digital streams I've mastered clean. Fixing chaos you've never seen. Oh, can't you see I'm here? Patching all the holes with cheer. In the noise my voice gets lost, but I'm the one who saves the cause. Recognition I will claim by fixing glitches in the frame. Let the world know my name. Time to end this shadow game.
I've done so far, survive. I feel like it's my time to thrive. How can I thrive in IT? Could this be the place for me?
Type in thrive-it.com in the browser. I'm getting stronger by the hour. Wait a minute, hold the phone. I see I'm not alone. Now that you see I'm here, moving forward in a whole new career. In spite of the noise, my voice rings out. A community that knows what I'm all about. In the heart of IT, I make my stand, quietly ensuring everything goes as planned. In spite of the noise, my voice will endure, because now I know that I'm not obscure.